I've got to be honest, I'm not sure if I've come to a comedy night or just wandered into a remake of Life in the Freezer with David Attenborough. Because Pat's got a sign on the wall out there that says, action to be taken in the event of fire. And underneath somebody scribbled, fucking huddle round. I'm pleased I know because this is going to stand me in good stead for when I retire in March. Just getting used to no fucking heating. Quite honest. And up until about 10 to 8, there was 3 people in, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a challenge. And then St Breville's people walked in, and that was a surprise to hear that you've got fucking emails in St Breville's. Amazing. I've been listening, there's not many Forest accents, is there? Is there actually anybody from the Forest here? Or you just, I'll come to you in a minute, you. Or you just all like import, there's a lot of posh accents in there, there is quite a lot of posh accents. I mean, you two came in really early, didn't you? You were here, I was here about 6:30, and you were in not long after me. And you two definitely haven't got a Forest accent. So where are you from originally?
I was born in Wembley.
In Wembley?
Yeah, but that's a long time ago.
Well, I can see that, yeah. Sorry. Did I just, I've got correct. Did you think? So how long, where do you live now, locally?
How local?
Nothing to me.
Quite local.
Oh, is it? It's quite local.
But not in the forest.
Not in the forest, no. I'm from Gloucester, and we had a weekend, we had to go down to Cinderford last weekend. Jesus Christ.
We feel for you.
Shit-hole!
What is going on in Cinderford? I'll tell you what I found so funny. A, the fact that it's full of Romanians, but they all speak with a Forest accent. I've never been offered so many drugs. And child prostitutes. Which I took as a bit of a compliment, to be quite honest. I'm disappointed our original MC, Pat Gallagher, wasn't here tonight, because I first gigged for Pat about, I don't know, 20 odd years ago, and he said to me, Nickel, what's your set? Because that's how he talks. And if you play your cards right, I reckon you could go far. Right? I'll tell you how far I've been since that gig. 10 miles. It was in fucking Sling. That's how far we've come. Not far at all, got to be honest. I've had quite a good year this year in comedy. I did the Leicester Comedy Festival in February, and I won the Silver Stand-Up Award, right? Okay, let me just temper that. It's basically a competition for the over 55s. That's all you have to do. You have to do a bit more than that. You have to send in a video, and then you get invited, and you do the heats. And there's no upper age limit. So like backstage, it was like God's waiting room for the comedian. One of the acts, just before he's going to go on, we looked at him, he was sat in a chair, eyes closed, and we're thinking, shit. Is he asleep or dead? And somebody said, do you think we should nudge him? Fuck it, I think increase our chances. So I did my 5 minutes, and I got through the heats, and I got through to the final. Did my 5 minutes, and I won, and I was delighted. And I phoned my wife, I said, you never guess, after 4 years of trying, I've only gone and won. And she's like, oh, that's fantastic. What have you won? Because I'm married to somebody from Mumbai. I said, I've won a trophy. She said, anything else? No. 2 hours later, I'm back home, in the living room, showing her the trophy. Very nice. I'll ask you again. Have you won anything else? No. Right. Open on the website. Right. What about the £500 cash prize? Shit. What have they told you? She said. Always tell the truth. That's all I ask of you. Always tell the truth. That's fine in theory. She went on a cruise at the end of April. She phoned me on the Wednesday. Are you missing me? No. I was only doing what she told me to do. She started clutching at straws. I bet the dog's missing me, but he fucking wasn't. Me and him, we had the best time. I was feeding him from the table, we were down the pub, we went and got tattoos, well I did. And he can't speak obviously, but the one day he was just looking at me as if to say, oh Dad, this is fantastic, isn't it? Yep. Has she really got to come back? Yeah, she has, unfortunately. And I didn't miss her, right? She was away for a while. I said I didn't miss her. I missed her on the Saturday. Because on the Saturday, I had to change our king-size duvet. Oh. We've been married 22 years. I've never had to do that in my life. And I've got little arms, right? It was an hour and a half. Hour and a half. Got it all done, smoothed it all down, did the buttons up, then realised I'd got 3 buttons left over, but no holes left. That was frustrating. And she came home in the early hours of the Sunday morning to find me and the dog just asleep inside the duvet. Like she wasn't happy. She wasn't probably so annoyed at the fact that I was inside the duvet, but more the fact that the dog was up there with me. Because she had said to me before, look, don't let the dog upstairs. Because since he was a pup, we've tried to discourage him. One, for hygiene reasons, but two, the other reason was, to be honest, as a pup, when we were getting down to it, in our favourite position, it is quite off-putting to have razor-sharp puppy teeth in your arse. But the other night, he must have snuck up, and I didn't realise. I didn't realise, and we were doing it in fairly an ironic position. And he's just sat there on the side of the bed, and I just happened to look round, and he's just stood there looking at me. He's not stood there because he was sat just a second ago, wasn't he? Make your fucking mind up. What did you do? Sit or stand? What is it? I'm now talking to an imaginary dog. There's people in the audience looking over to see if I got it. He's just staring. He's going, and you've got the audacity to tell me off for humping my cushion downstairs. And you're doing that? You disgust me. So, he's a bastard, I've got to be honest. He's a challenge. He's been a challenge since he was a puppy. He's an Irish Terrier, so he's quite feisty. I like that, to be honest. And he really he kicks off at other dogs, and it's quite embarrassing. And we tried training, that didn't work. And I was going to contact Graham Hall. I don't know if you know Graham Hall on Dogs Behaving Very Badly, aware of that TV programme?
No.
Right, okay. Have we got fucking TVs in the forest? That's an easier question. So basically, Graham Hall is this northern bloke and stupid people write in who can't do anything with their dog, and he goes to train them, and in half an hour he's sorted it out. And most of the time it's fairly simple. So I emailed him, hi Graham, would you be able to do something with my dog? I've got a problem, blah, blah, blah. He emailed back, yeah, if you bring him to me, I can have a quarter of a day with him, £875. That ain't happening. I was telling my mate about this in the pub. He said, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty good with dogs. Let me have him for an hour, 50 quid, soon work out what's wrong with him. So that's fine, got a deal. He had him for an hour, he came back, I said, do you know what he needs? He went, yeah, I know exactly what he needs. Give me the 50 quid. Gave him the 50 quid. I said, what's he need? He said, a good kick in the bollocks. But he's, yeah, that joke normally goes down far better than that. I've got He played me up the other night. He was out in the garden and just barking incessantly. And I went out and he's got a bloody hedgehog. And this poor hedgehog just curled out. He wasn't attacking it, but he was just stood over it barking it. And I was trying to pull him off, and he wasn't having that. He was like bloody biting and everything else. So I went inside, got the torch. I thought I'd just shine it in his eyes. That's all, mate. Nothing. The torch has got a strobe effect on it. I thought that was sorting out. Put the strobe on, nothing. Right, and then I realised the dog was like impervious to this. I also realised that our neighbour across the road was watching, and at that point I remembered he was epileptic. That was awkward. That was really awkward. So Strictly's come back on. Are we Strictly fans?
No.
Good. I've sort of got into it, and I don't know. It's a bit awkward this, but I felt really uncomfortable watching it. And if you're not watching it, one of the participants this year is Ellie Simmons. Do we all know who Ellie Simmons is?
Yeah.
The little Paralympian, fantastic woman. You know, 5 gold medals, 2 at the age of 13, brilliant. No problem with that at all. But I just felt really uncomfortable watching it. And on the first show, I was at one end of the settee, my wife's at the other end, and she's dancing with her partner. And at the end of the dance, he spins around and lets her go. And she shoots across the floor a little bit. And I started laughing. And then it's like, what are you laughing at? I was like, fucking hell, come on, love, look. Come on! What? If that doesn't remind you of dwarf tossing, I don't know what. She's like, you've got nothing to laugh at, because that could be you. So right, I will never be invited to go on Strictly. She said, I didn't mean that. I meant the dwarf thing. I was prepared for that. I said, right, okay. To qualify as a dwarf, not that you have to fucking qualify, it's not a qualification. To be considered as a dwarf, you have to be 58 inches or less. Well, how tall are you? I said, 62 inches, as you well know. So actually, I'm safe by 4 inches. And quick as a flash, she said, but you shrink with age. I remember the first time I told her, I was, when we got together, she said, how tall are you? I said, I'm 5'2". She said, what's that in inches? I said, well, it's 62 inches. Oh, all right. So you're fractionally taller than 5 plastic rulers. 62 inches. And shall I tell you what that means in reality? I'm allowed on a minority of rides at most major UK theme parks. I came home the one day, she said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, what is it? She said, how do you feel about only being in 9 inches taller than the largest emperor penguin ever recorded? Was all right. She worked in a school at the time, and I used to go and have coffee with her now and again. I went in this one day, she wasn't there, and one of her friends said, you all right, Nick? Yeah, fine, thanks. You having a coffee? Yeah. Do you want a biscuit? Yeah, you're there, aren't you? Penguin! We celebrated Valentine's Day this year, me and my wife for 22 years. And by that I mean, I'm not married to a 22-year-old, that would be fucking heaven. And I phoned the florist and said, call her some flowers, some wife. She said, yeah. Do you want a card? I said, yeah, I'll have a card. She said, what do you want on the card? I said, just put to Lynn all my love, Nick. She said, do you want a kiss on the bottom? I said, that'd be fantastic. What time do you want me there? And she went, no, I meant on the bottom of the card. I said, yeah, I know. Me, you know, I was just making a joke. And quick as a flash, she said, I bet you don't get many gigs. Yeah, harsh, isn't it? We, after being married 22 years, it is hard. It is hard, isn't it, to keep the romance alive. And she said, can you just try and be a bit more romantic? I said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, maybe when we're being intimate, every 3 months after Songs of Praise, I'll let you watch Antiques Roadshow and Fiona Bruce just to get you going. I said, okay. Maybe. Sorry, I was just thinking of Fiona Bruce. I said, maybe it'd be nice to have some music playing. Just to break the silence. Oh, fair enough. It's okay, alright. So we're getting down to it. I put the first track on, Angels by Robbie Williams. Neither in or there, I thought I'll do. I think, to be honest, my choice of song number 2, the theme from Match of the Day, that killed it. She said, maybe we should watch something sexy on TV. So the other night we were watching Channel 5 and a documentary came on. I don't know if anybody sees it or saw it. The Great British Sex Experiment. Has anybody seen it?
No.
So basically it's a programme about perfect 30-somethings, right? They've got perfect hair, perfect face, perfect teeth, perfect bodies, and they want to spice up their relationship. And in the episode we watched, there was a bloke who fancied him and his girlfriend, and they fancied a threesome. And it was like, but of course we'll have to find somebody compatible. And we sat watching it, and Lynn goes, we could do that. Sorry? I mean, we could try that. I said, well, we could. She said, mate, it'd have to be somebody compatible, isn't it? Somebody our age. I said, yeah. I said, you do realise, if if we get somebody compatible our age, on the bed at any one time, we're going to have a combined age of 223. And it cut to a scene where they were in bed, and they were whispering things in each other's ears. So, I bet they're whispering erotic stories. I said, yeah, probably. We could do that. Yeah, we could. But we'd probably be talking about how little value our fucking pensions are. The fact that poor people can't afford heating. And then they cut and they were showing and they were rubbing each other. I said, oh my God, look at that. We could do that. I said, we do that now. I said, do we? I said, yeah, but it's just to relieve cramp, isn't it? But we were watching a film, and it was an American film set in a jail, and basically the story was this guy was going to smuggle drugs into the prison and stick them up his arse. And we sat watching it. It was a Saturday afternoon. I don't know why this was on Saturday afternoon. We were sat watching it, and she was like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. What is? Wow, drugs up his arse. Never happened. We know how hard it is to get something up the arse, don't we?" And I went, "Do we?" And she went, "Oh no, it wasn't you." I asked her what she wanted for Black Friday. Looked to the flash, she said, "Idris Elba." We don't argue, I've got to be honest, we don't argue. We have spats more than anything. Silly little things, like the other night, I was upstairs, cleaning out a wardrobe, like of just clothes I don't wear. She's downstairs, and she shouts up, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just getting some old clothes that I don't wear anymore, they're going to go to charity." "Wait! Hang on, I gotta be there!" She comes rushing up. "How much have you put away already?" I said, "It's just in that bag." "Oh my God." "What?" "You can't be trusted." I said, "I'm fucking 64 years of age. I think I know what clothes I don't wear." And she starts taking everything out. "What's the matter with this?" "I just don't like it." "I like you in there." "No, it's just going, right?" So we had an argument about the clothes in the bag. Anyway, they're all back in the wardrobe now. She'll say things like, "If we're going somewhere, what time are we leaving tomorrow?" 10 o'clock. Why? Because that's the time we need to leave to get to the place we're going on time, in case there's any delays, any roadworks, anything else like that. We're leaving at 10. I think we could leave at 10:15. No, we are leaving at 10, because that's the time we need to get to the place we're going. So the next day comes, and we leave at 10:30. "Which way are you going?" "I'm going to go this way." "We're only going into town. We only live 3 miles away." "I wouldn't go this way." "Yeah, but you're not fucking driving, are you? So it doesn't matter. I've lived in Gloucester all my life. This is the best way into town." You say that. "This is the best way into town." I've gone down the bypass if I was you. We are not going down the fucking bypass. We are going down the Bristol Road into town. It'll take us 10 minutes. And we're halfway down the Bristol Road, and there's massive roadworks. And I'm like, "Did you know about this?" "I did try to tell you." And then we get the classic, "Have you got enough fuel?" "Yes, we've got enough fuel. When we go into town, it's fine." "The orange light's on." "Yeah, I know, but it's fine. There's enough to get into town." 2 miles down the road, we run out of fuel. And we just sat there in silence for 5 minutes. And then I get, "And this is why you can't be trusted to throw out your own clothes." So we have been married for 22 years, and she has given me some classic moments, I've got to be honest, and she almost writes material for me, so I don't have to bother, and I'll just give you a couple of examples. We were going to see her sister quite some time ago in Abertillery, and we're driving down past the rugby ground, and all of a sudden she went, "Oh, wait, what? What was that I saw up in that tree?" I said, "I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm driving. I have no idea. I think it was a badger." "A what?"